Good Monday afternoon, everyone. My name is Hunter. Welcome back to Weather on the Go. We're going to be updating you on the winter storm potential as increasing confidence is going into the storm going into the weekend. And we are looking at a major pattern change in early January, the likes of which is going to bring some colder air down from Canada and the Arctic down to the United States as we go into especially the second week of the month. So we're going to be updating you on everything that you need to know, from temperatures to precipitation, snowfall potential as well. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have the post notification bell turned on for any future videos and live streams that I do on this channel. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up. Also, leave any comments, questions, concerns below. You know you can do that. I'll answer those along the way. And share this video with friends, family, and on social media. It goes a long way in helping out, and I definitely appreciate it. Let's look at our high temperatures this Monday afternoon, and we're seeing above normal temperatures continue across the central and eastern United States. A lot of 40s up here across the Midwest, into the Ohio Valley and interior Northeast, 50s, 60s, and plus into the 70s further down to the south this afternoon. Waking up Tuesday morning on New Year's Eve, again, it's not something we can't handle across this region. We're still seeing temperatures in the teens and 20s up across the upper Midwest starting off. Really, that is something that's not unheard of across this region this time of year. If anything, it's warmer than normal. And then across the east, yeah, look at that, 51 in Lexington, Richmond, Tuesday morning, 50 in Nashville, Knoxville, and 51 into the Atlanta area as well. Tuesday afternoon, those temperatures Tuesday morning will actually be your high temperatures for the cities I just mentioned. So Lexington, Richmond, Nashville, Knoxville, and Atlanta, those are likely to be your high temperatures, as temperatures will remain steady and then slowly fall off as we go into Tuesday afternoon. If you're heading out to New York City to watch the big ball drop for New Year's Eve, make sure that you are watching the forecast and looking at the temperatures for midnight Wednesday morning as the ball drops. We're going to be seeing temperatures in the mid and upper 40s. Maybe those wind chills down into the low 40s with a bit of a breeze out there, something to keep an eye on. Let's look at the GOES satellite imagery across the United States, and we are watching a clipper system moving across the Midwest as we speak, and this is producing a mix of rain and snow this afternoon here. Mainly rain right now in Omaha, but that will change over to snow as we go into this evening and overnight. That could bring us a couple of inches of snow there, maybe some lighter snowfall, a dusting or so in toward the Des Moines region, and then mostly rain in Illinois tonight. That may switch over to a rain-snow mix as you go off to work or school as we go into Tuesday. And then going into Tuesday night for New Year's Eve, we're just seeing a bunch of precipitation across the Great Lakes, some of this lake enhancement here to the snowfall, and seeing some showers over here toward New York City. So even though temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s, wind chills in the low 40s, we could actually be seeing some showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms in this region. So if you're heading out to watch the ball drop over there in New York City, make sure you have a radar app handy for those showers and storms later tomorrow. Here's the precipitation amounts we're looking at here, really from East Nebraska, stretching toward the mid-Atlantic and Northeast and through the Ohio Valley. That's where in the greens we could see anywhere from a quarter to half an inch, in the blues anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rain as we go through your New Year's Day time frame. It's not going to bring a lot of snow, certainly not a blockbuster snow event at all. We're going to see a couple of inches of snow from the system across South Dakota into Nebraska and western Iowa, maybe some snowfall here in the Great Lakes, but other than that, no blockbuster snow event here anytime soon, at least through the New Year's time frame. Now things will change in our weather pattern as we go into New Year's, so as we turn the page to 2025, notice we have a big blocking ridge of high pressure up here in Greenland and northeast of the Hudson Bay. That's going to be important in driving our trough across the east, lowering pressure underneath, and then we have more blocking up here in Alaska as well, and that's going to keep a lot of the colder air further to the south. And let's look at that time frame from Wednesday, January 1st, 2025 through Sunday, January 5th, 2025. Notice the coldest of air, the really true Arctic air, is across western Canada, but we're starting to see hints of winter here in the central and eastern U.S. It's just not Arctic cold during the first 5 days of January. Now, this is going to come with an active weather pattern. It's already an active weather pattern. It's going to get even more active during this period. The Pacific Northwest seeing several storm systems moving in, lots of pieces of energy. Those will be diving into the central U.S. before moving more toward the east. Let's look at later this weekend, because there are some signals here and signals for several days that we're going to have a pretty potent storm system into the middle of the country. You can see this tongue of moisture. This is your precipitable water values later this weekend. Moving all the way up there into southern Illinois, those precipitable water values approaching an inch, and that is pretty anomalously wet for this time of year. So let's look at the Euro model for the precipitation starting off on New Year's Day on Wednesday. So looking at that, we have some energy, more of a clipper system variety up across the Pacific Northwest. That could drop some energy again. Don't be surprised if you're in the Midwest here between Wednesday and Friday and you see a couple of clipper systems with some lighter snow. No blockbuster snow events with those, but just some lighter snow flurries and snow showers that could add up to a dusting or an inch at most, worst case scenario. The biggest event of the storm system on the Euro model comes in across the Pacific Northwest on Friday. This is our piece of energy that's going to move into the Rockies as we go into Saturday. Notice the colder air coming in, and that actually could lead to a potent winter storm somewhere across the middle of the country as we go into late this weekend. And the Euro model is hinting at Sunday, potentially from East Kansas, stretching over toward Indiana there, including Missouri, parts of Iowa and Illinois, and then maybe over toward Kentucky with the wintry precip rainfall further south. And then as you go into Monday, that shifts over into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, including parts of the I-95 corridor as well, getting in on some of the wintry precipitation on the Euro model. Let's go to the GFS, the American model. Starting off again on Wednesday, you can see Thursday and Friday, we have those clipper systems like we mentioned. That is of high confidence. So we're going to see some clipper systems. Where they actually track is of low confidence, but we're highly confident there will be clipper systems with some lighter snow. As we go into Friday, there's that plume of moisture across the Pacific Northwest. That is our system, and it's really going to take until Friday where we have the weather balloons, the weather sensors that get fed back into the models to try to figure out where this storm will really go truly. On Saturday, the GFS actually has the low developing all the way to the north into Wyoming and Montana before slipping down here into the Central Plains, and a little bit more of a kind of disorganized low, a weaker low as we go into Sunday, and then Monday it starts to organize but still pretty weak across the Great Lakes. And it's a little bit warmer of a solution, so it pulls that rain line a little bit further to the north. And looking here at the individual operational runs at 12Z for the European model, showing a pretty hefty snow event from Missouri eastward through the Ohio Valley toward the Mid-Atlantic. And looking at the GFS model, pretty much in the same ballpark, maybe just slightly further north by 50 to 100 miles, something to keep an eye on there. And obviously with the Euro model being as the solution here, showing more of that ice across portions of Kansas, downstate Missouri and Illinois, and really along the Ohio River areas here, and then over toward West Virginia and Virginia. With the GFS a little bit further north, the ice threat is a little bit more widespread, I guess you could say, and also a little bit further north as well here. That could include more central or Illinois or central Indiana, central Ohio, for example, as we go looking at the GFS model. Something that's several days out, and certainly something that hasn't been picked up by the weather balloons or the sensors yet off the West Coast, is why we look at the ensemble models, because it puts all the models together in one envelope and actually gives you the most likely scenario. The European ensemble model is actually hinting that the best probabilities of a snowstorm will be up here into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Mid-Atlantic. The GFS ensemble actually is in that same ballpark here across portions of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and less of the Mid-Atlantic because it's a little bit warmer of a solution. So I think the truth lies in between. We'll have to wait and see what the weather models and the ensembles do over the next few days. That's an update on that. What is more confident beyond the system is, depending on obviously how strong it is, the stronger the low pressure is going to bring down even colder air. A weaker low pressure will bring down not as cold air. So we're looking here at the eastern United States, Monday, January 6th through Sunday, January 12th. Now we're getting into the second week of January. Pretty cold temperatures here in the east, and we got that positive P&A off the West Coast, bringing a ridge across California, and that is going to bring some warmer air out to the Pacific West and Pacific Southwest. Now, the Arctic is going to be opened up for business the second week of January, and the models have really been showing this for about a week now or so, and you can see it's really going to spread out across the central and eastern U.S., and any snowpack that we see with that weekend system will just enhance a lot of that colder air and make it even colder. Now let's look at the precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center between Monday, January 6th and Sunday the 12th as well. And this signal is here for more of those northwest flow clippers up here across Montana down toward Kansas. We have that positive P&A, so very dry conditions, bone dry there in much of California and the Pacific Southwest, and a tongue of dry air as well, because colder air is dry air, right? So we're going to actually see some drier conditions behind that system briefly, at least in the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Southern Plains. And then look at the greens down here. I want to turn your attention to southern Texas, along the Gulf Coast, Florida, and then up the East Coast. Notice this green. You blink and you miss it. We have potentially more of an eastern storm track here. Colder air is drier air, so it's going to shift that storm track further to the south and east and off the East Coast. And that, my friends, could actually give us a nor'easter. So even though the Browns are showing up in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, western Massachusetts up here, don't lose hope. I actually do think there is still chance for a nor'easter during the second week of January. Look at the jet stream orientation here. It's northwest flow clippers across the central U.S., and then it digs all the way down toward the Gulf Coast and then up and off the East Coast. And the benchmark for low pressures for a nor'easter, at least if you want big snows for the I-95 corridor, the Northeast, is off the coast of Cape Cod there, and that actually could come to fruition the second week of January. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. Here overall is the probability of an inch or more of snow between now and Sunday, January 12th. In the reds, you were near certain of getting an inch or at least of snowfall here. Look at it takes residents across all of the northern United States for the most part here. Even those probabilities down as far south as Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia are still at least 50-50 odds of seeing an inch or more of snow through the 12th of January. You increase that to a 3-inch or more event. Again, still pretty good odds here across the north central U.S. And then obviously 6 inches or more, it's going to be a little difficult to get further south. But again, Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, the Great Lakes, looking at some pretty decent snow potential through the middle of January. So we're going to keep you updated here on the latest of the winter storm potential this weekend, the cold air that resides on the backside of that storm, and what's to come in the second week of January. Will we have a northeast snowstorm known as a nor'easter or not? We'll have to keep you updated on that. So subscribe to the channel. Check back often for updates. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below. Leave any questions, comments, and concerns down below. We'll obviously answer any questions that you do have as well and answer any comments that you do have too. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And I hope everyone has a terrific and marvelous rest of their Monday out there.